of people running around in the construction world, or just the regular world, who think they're competent. Sometimes it's because they have a title, sometimes because they have a diploma from an institution, sometimes it's simply because they have high self-esteem. Hi, I'm Brett Dillon. Today I want to ask you a question. Do you trust an incompetent? An incompetent person lacks the ability or skill to perform to a set standard. There are lots of reasons why people are incompetent, far too many for us to go into here. The trouble with a lot of incompetent people is they are disguised as something else. Like a human chameleon, they have survived by mimicking their environment. One disguise they use is acting nice. They know we'd rather work with a nice person, so they act nice in order to be liked. Also knowing that the halo effect will kick in and will attribute other things, like competence and skills and ability, to them based on the fact that we like them. Another attempt at camouflage is the cloak of invisibility. If they don't bring attention to themselves, we won't find out how incompetent they really are, until their incompetence strikes us like a ninja with a poisoned dart, right out of the shadows. And that one really hurts. Incompetent people also hide behind unclear communication. Whether written or verbal, when they communicate, you just can't seem to connect with them, and you certainly don't understand what they communicated. Reminds me of one of the characters out of Blazing Saddles, spoken frontier gibberish. The trouble with the unclear communication is, the unclear communication can give lots of people lots of different meanings as they try to filter through what was meant to be said and what was actually said, while the person who communicated it, the incompetent person, gets away scot-free, can just say, well, you didn't understand what I said. Incompetent people will also hide behind excuses. They never admit they're wrong, and they won't accept responsibility when things inevitably go pear-shaped. Incompetent people are even disguised as listeners. They don't listen to gain understanding. They listen to respond and muddy the waters. Incompetent people disguise their incompetence by making other people look worse, so the incompetent appears better than they really are. Reminds me of a story that I heard of teenage girls who would hang out with an uglier girl at the dance so that she would look prettier. Incompetent people also try to hide their incompetence by not doing anything difficult. As long as they stay in the shallow water and do shallow work, they'll never be discovered. And they can get the opportunity to look really, really busy. Which is another thing incompetent people do. They try to hide their incompetence by conflating activity with accomplishment. They're really, really busy, but nothing effective or meaningful ever gets done. The last way I can think of to identify an incompetent is through their overconfidence. This is where an incompetent doesn't recognize their own incompetence, which is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. And their high levels of self-esteem get in the way of acknowledging that they are, in fact, incompetent. The blogger Mintark, they've got such cool names, those hipster bloggers, I guess, proposed 8 principles of incompetence. These are really good, and they should be posted at every workplace. The 0th principle is that incompetence is driven by intellectual sloth. The first principle is that incompetence surrounds itself, oddly enough, with incompetence. The second principle is that incompetence is ethics impaired. The third principle, incompetence abhors transparency and accountability. And the fourth principle, incompetence does or says anything to defend itself. The 5th principle, incompetence always supports incompetence. And the 6th principle, violence is the last resort of incompetence, which if you're incompetent, that's probably should be your last resort, because if you're incompetent at violence, the person you're engaging with probably is not. And a competent, violent person will always whip your ass. 7th principle, incompetence is nothing but consistent with itself. So take a hard look at the people who work for you, employees and subcontractors, and look at the people that you work for. Then look at the people you work with, your colleagues, your vendors, suppliers, business partners, oversight organizations perhaps. Are you trusting incompetent people? For more information on how we can help you identify incompetence through our quality management services, subscribe to our YouTube channel or join us on LinkedIn.